Hi, everybody. This is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts, and this is Prehistoric Facts episode number 67. We're going to be talking about the paleontology news in the past few weeks, and so I'm actually going to go through these really quickly because I want to make sure to get this episode to be as quickly as possible. And so there's going to be a few few paleontology news topics to talk about here. These are mostly going to be dinosaur related, and I'll put the links of the papers in the description box down below of this video, so that way you guys can check them out, and otherwise you can just find the a more like grounded version of the paper, more likely like what a mainstream media would actually portray the paper as. In sort of week, you can find that on your own, like in Pure J or otherwise in other types of news outlets like scientific science news or whatever. But anyway, let's actually get started here. So the first news topic to talk about is about Spinosaurus. And so this news article, this newest paper that came out in the early part of December, so not too long ago, mainly the first week of December. And this paper is basically about how if Spinosaurus really is aquatic. And so the paper is entitled "Spinosaurus Aegypticus is not an aquatic dinosaur." The authors are Paul Serino, Nathan Morvold, Donald Henderson, Frank Fish, Daniel Vidal, Stephanie Baumgard, Tyler Killer, Kirsten Formoso, and Lauren Conroy. No relation to Kevin Conroy, though. So, but R.I.P. Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman. But anyway, this paper is actually suggesting is that due to how Spinosaurus's body is designed, especially mainly the neural spines on the back, are not designed to be able to have this animal to be able to swim. So this animal would actually be would still be considered semi-aquatic. It's just that it would have to be near water. But even though there is some things that do need to be explained, though, so Spinosaurus is starting to become the equivalent to Tyrannosaurus Rex in terms of like being one of the most controversial dinosaurs in paleontology because of like how the animal is being portrayed by numerous scientists. Like there's scientists that believe that Spinosaurus is a little bit more aquatic and it can swim because of like how the feet are designed, how the tail is designed, that it can swim. But then there's others that say like it's not designed to swim. It's mainly designed to be in the water, but not really to swim. It's just mainly to be in like the shallower parts of the water, and also to be like, say, have the water go kind of a little bit close to the spines on the back, and just use its jaws and claws to catch its prey. And so this is what this paper is really saying, is that it really is trying to say is that that this animal is going to be kind of hunting towards hunting in the shallower parts of the water and be able to catch fish that way. Like, I don't mind this paper, really. I really don't. Like, I do think Spinosaurus is semi-aquatic. I call it semi-aquatic. I would not call it an aquatic dinosaur because, first and foremost, an aquatic dinosaur would mean is that it has to spend majority of its life in the water and not come out of it that much. And so this dinosaur, Spinosaurus, would have to be semi-aquatic. It would have to spend time on land because we all know that based on its body design, it has to be on land. It would not be designed just to be in water all the time. It has to be on land, mainly to lay eggs, mate, and even probably to like sleep, to be able to go up onto land and sleep, to get a good rest and also to probably defend its territory as well. And that's what you got to do for this kind of animal too, because it's a predator. It's going to have that niche of protecting its territory where it's near water. So the pros of this is that basically they did use like skeletal designs and even how and did like a three-dimensional model of the animal in terms of like could it really do those things like do things like swim. I think it has the capability of swimming. It's just that I think how it kind of portrays this animal is that it has to be semi-aquatic. Could it swim? Yes, but not very much. It would waste a lot of energy trying to swim. Like I get that. I totally get it. And so I think this paper does have some validity to it, but also there's going to be some questions, more questions than answers with Spinosaurus, because Spinosaurus is going to be the most talked about dinosaur for many, many, many years to come. Not just not just Tyrannosaurus Rex all the time, or even Velociraptor all the time. This is going to be a dinosaur that is going to be talked about for many, 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 many years. So in the next paper we're going to be talking about is about Tyrannosaur Agility. and uh, and so we actually have to talk about like this like these forms of papers that is this form of paper that is come out a couple weeks ago, really, and the authors of the paper, which include Thomas R. Holtz, who is a well-known Tyrannosaur expert, and so this is basically about how the ligaments in the foot are on the foot bones are attached to the bones on the feet. And so when we look at tyrannosaurs, basically the large tyrannosaurs, and we see how their foot configurations are, this paper is really talking about how the feet are designed compared to other large carnivorous dinosaurs. So like your Carcharodontosaurs, Allosaurs, Spinosaurs, you name it, Megalosaurs, all the kinds of giant carnivorous dinosaurs. And so what this actually is determining here is that based on how the ligaments are attached to the foot bones, so like the other large carnivorous dinosaurs, so like your Allosaurus, Giganotosaurus, Carcharodontosaurus, Spinosaurus, Torvosaurus, even all the Abelisaurs, you name it, uh, their foot designs in terms of the ligaments, they have strong ligaments, but their ligaments are not designed to be able to make much faster turns compared to other types of predatory dinosaurs, like say your dromaeosaurs, your ornithomimids, the compsognaathids, troodontids, and tyrannosaurs. Believe it or not. And tyrannosaurs, based on how the foot are designed, because if you actually look at the 3 foot bones that are from like kind of almost to the base of the foot, all the way over to the ankle, so the large metatarsal bones, so those like really long toe bones. And so when you look at all 3 of them, you actually see you got two regular ones that are normal size, but then on the outside. But then when you get to the middle one, that third metatarsal, it is kind of like a basic toe bone, like when you're going towards the tip of the toe. But when you go further up into the ankle, it pinches. It pinches. And so what does that say? Is that this says is that the ligament attachments to the foot of tyrannosaurs are a lot stronger, and also they're going to be there's going to be a lot more ligaments attached to the foot. And what Thomas R. Holtz and colleagues have concluded here is that tyrannosaurs have much better ability to be able to make faster turns than compared to other types of predatory dinosaurs. Dromaeosaurs and Dromaeosaurs, ornithomimids, and oviraptorids can still turn quickly because they're smaller dinosaurs. Even though, if you want to count Megaraptor, which is a large oviraptorid, that dinosaur would be too big to run really fast. But anyway, this is actually suggesting is that tyrannosaurs have really good agility. And so, but even though we all know Tyrannosaurus Rex is too large to go in a full-size adult, it's too large to run at really high speeds, but it can make quick turns. So this animal would be able to have this ability to make quicker turns, faster, have better foot control too, to be able to go after its prey. So it can be a pursuit predator, mainly when it's younger. When it's like really fast, going speeds between 25 to 35 miles an hour, basically from like age 12 all the way over to like say age 17. But when they get to age 18, that's when they're fully grown, and you get the massive size that they have. Their speed goes way down, and so they're going to be more ambush type of predators. And so this suggests is this: with all the ligament attachments onto the foot, it would suggest us that these ligaments are really strong and be able to have these tyrannosaurs going much quicker turns. Now, some paleontology paleontologists that do study locomotion in terms of animals, they may actually have certain things to say about this. Is that they're only looking at like ligaments. They're not looking at the bone structure of these dinosaurs. But bone structure in the animals doesn't really mean too much necessary in terms of how fast you can go. But it can determine how much weight you actually are able to have when you're actually going at a high speed. With Tyrannosaurus Rex, it probably had to do like a speed walk type of running style. But when they were younger, they were able to sprint, and so that sort of thing. But yeah, Tyrannosaur ligaments are pretty strong, and so that's pretty cool. Next thing we're going to talk about is Ankylosaur Injuries, and this is kind of a paper that came out also a couple weeks ago, and this is basically on the fossils of Zool. And so, and Zool, if many of you don't know, is that ankylosaur that was discovered fairly recently. I think 2019 or maybe 2020 was actually fully described, and it was named after the demon character in the Ghostbusters movie. So if you've seen that demon dog, the demon dog in Ghostbusters, the first Ghostbusters movie, and you see the one that was called Zool, that's what this dinosaur is named after, and it's named after the Zool character in Ghostbusters. But anyway, so Zool is one of the more complete ankylosaur specimens that is out there. And based on this paper, and it's suggesting is this: with looking through the armored scutes on the body of Zool, they found certain ones on Zool, especially like mainly towards the pelvic area of the animal, is that they found some pretty abnormal scutes on its body, and what this suggests is that they did studies on this. They figured like, oh, could it be a predator? Could it actually have accidentally hit a tree? They hit a rock or something like that? But really, what happened is that it was from another ankylosaur, and it used its tail club to whack each other with. And so that tail club is not just used for defense against predators; it's also used for against like actual species combat. So ankylosaur versus ankylosaur, and so we all knew that they probably did do this to defend themselves against territorial disputes, food, and also for mating rituals. The males probably did use them in mating combat rituals, and probably all types of the ankylosaurs, mainly males and females, did actually use them for like territorial disputes. And so, yeah, they did actually wallop each other with their tail clubs. And so, yeah, the abnormal scutes on the body of Zool were from an ankylosaur tail, the tail club. So, which is actually pretty cool to see this on a fossil specimen as good as Zool. And so, yeah, that's really, really cool. And I knew that this was actually a behavior that probably did happen, but not really shown on the fossil record that much. And so Zool actually gave that answer, which is really, really awesome. Now, the next thing is going to be talking about sauropod tail whipping. There is this new paper that came out. It came out like last week, and it's talking about how sauropod tails, especially the whip-like ones, especially like say Apatosaurus, Diplodocus, those types of dinosaurs, they all have the whip-like tails at the end. And this paper is talking about whether or not did they make the supersonic boom that it that it could make by whipping that tail against, like, say, a predator. What this paper is saying is that it did not do that. It did not make that supersonic boom that, like, you hear like on a bullwhip. It probably did not do that because the bones are not designed this way. They probably did wiggle them around because the bones on the end part of the tail are very flexible, and so they could be able to do that. But could they whip a predator like that with their tail? Yeah, absolutely. But they did not make the sonic boom. And so this suggests is that these animals did defend themselves with their tail, and also they used communication with their tails as well to distinguish themselves, but also defending themselves against predators, especially like say with Apatosaurus and Diplodocus, defending themselves against like say Ceratosaurus, Allosaurus, Torvosaurus, and Saurophaganax. And so yeah, that would make the case is that they did not do this. So they did not make that supersonic boom. So, but it would give the predator a distraction of like, oh, that's painful type of distraction. And so, yeah, this is probably the case here is that. Now, there is going to be some pushback against this. The saying is that that sauropods probably can do it. It's just that maybe the paper is only focusing on like the bones instead of like the total musculature of the musculature and the ligaments of the tail, and they just bothered by looking at the bones. But this paper did do a lot of the work in terms of like the what the ligaments and muscles were able to do with the tails with the tail. And so yeah, that is the one thing it can do, what they did. And so yeah, that's actually a very interesting one. But there's other types of paleontology news that have came around throughout 2022. But there's a lot of discovery. Now we got a new movie that's coming out in March called 65. I'll check that movie out. My expectation is going to be slightly low with that. I've seen the trailer, but I'll check that out. But there's also a new Titanosaur that was described, and so on and so forth. But these are the ones that I wanted to talk about, and so I'll leave the links of the papers down below so that way you guys can check them out and feel free to do so. And you can determine whether or not you agree or disagree, or you're somewhere in the middle of a lot of these paleontological uh, these paleontological news outings that have came out in the past few weeks. So let me know in the comments down below what you think of all these types of discoveries that have been made, and make sure you keep them civil, and let's be nice to each other, okay? So yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Now, the next episode will be in January 5th, 2023. So there'll be no new episode next week or even 2 weeks from now. So just basically January 5th, 2023. So the 2022 episodes of Prehistoric Facts are completely done after this. And so we'll be setting sights forward for 2023. And so in January 5th, 2023, it'll be a special episode. I'll let you guys know what kind of prehistoric animal I'm going to talk about probably by New Year's Day. And so I'll let you guys know what prehistoric animal I'm going to talk about. And you can still send me questions about dinosaurs and other prehistoric life by email me at donachris71@gmail.com. Or go on my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Donna Chris. Like the page, you should post your questions in the comment section. Please post them in the comment section. Don't put them on messages for private conversations. So please put them in the comment section. And for you YouTubers out there, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also according to my analytics, a lot of you guys are checking out my channel and not subscribed yet. So please feel free to like the videos, hit that thumbs up button to like the videos, so that helps out to spread the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel, and also stomp on that notification bell. Not stomp it with your feet, just your finger. Stomp that notification bell so that we can get weekly notifications every video that comes out. And you guys and YouTubers out there, feel free to leave your questions in the comment section, because I do read them all. Your questions do mean a lot on the Q&A episodes. You guys are awesome. You've been giving me some awesome questions for the Q&A episodes, including the Facebook questions, email, and YouTube. You guys are just awesome. And make sure you keep your questions short and to the point. You can also follow me on Instagram at dino.chris.pf. I post pretty cool stuff on there. You can also follow me on Twitter at CSGRALL. It's my Twitter page. I post pretty cool stuff on there as well. Also, take care of the people around you. Notice if you're younger people out there that may still listen, your parents and teachers and your guardians, it's the best motivation you can have. A good education is very important. Have a good education for the good education, get a good job in the future. And also in this kind of time, this is the holiday season. Hope you guys have a good and safe holiday season, and happy holidays to everybody. And make sure you stay safe and have a good time with your family and friends. And let's have a good time in the holiday season. And also let's be safe. That's it for now. And I'll see you guys in 2023.